Okay, this is Dave McNeese, and I'm going to tie a fall caddis. This is mid-September, and I'm on the North Umpqua at Spirit River. And I just have a few things. It's a simple fly, and it's one of the insects that the steelhead on the North Umpqua, as well as in the Willamette Valley west of the Cascades and eastern Oregon, the steelhead feed both on the adults, but a lot of times they gorge themselves on the emerging adults. And I've caught plenty of fish over the years that had dozens in their stomach. One thing we were talking about over the years is this UV material, and it's probably been 40 years when I talked to a lure Jensen lure maker, and I was in Southern Oregon, and he was explaining to me all these different paints and how the fish see these fluorescent colors and these UV colors, and the spots and the stripes on the lures were part of the attractant as well as the color. And over the years I've dyed my steelhead flies and streamers and some of the trout flies with these fluorescent colors and UV colors to bring out that instant appeal for a strike. So this fly is fairly simple, and I take hare's ear and I mix it with this UV2 CLX in orange, and that's just to tone it down a little bit. I'm fishing this fly at daybreak, fairly close to shore, in pools that I know that there's going to be steelhead that are active. Typically below fast water, that's where these fall caddis emerge from. They congregate right below rapids, and then they emerge and swim to shore. And that's where the steelhead intersect them. So I just take out a small pinch. Typically time on fours or sixes and eights. I don't go too smaller, seems to be better. Wrap the dubbing a couple of times around there, and I get a small twist right at the base of the hook. I add my copper wire for ribbing, and then I just spin the body. The one thing with emerging caddis, and the reason I like this material so well, is that they have the gas underneath their skin, and they have an opaque translucent coloration. If you actually caught one swimming early in the morning or late in the evening, you would be amazed if you put light up against it, you can see right through it. It's very glowing. Take a grizzly and tie that in. Pull that to the side, and I wrap about probably 3 turns of copper wire, maybe 4 turns, up the body. I want the body to kind of shed and flow. After a few casts it'll do that, or I can just take a brush and brush it out. Just a short little turn right there. Not much. I don't want too much on there. It's right at the base. I have a little bit of the marabou in there, and I just fold it over, tie it down, and that'll just hug and move in the water. And the movement's one of the stimulus besides the color. Then I take a little bit darker hare's ear that's mixed with the UV2 CLX. Front of the fly is a little bit darker than the back. And I just spin that on a couple of turns, make it rather loose. I barely even twist it because I want this to shed and make a halo over the body. Then I take a orange guinea that's dyed UV2. This would give just a little bit of color, not much. Just a couple of turns. And all I'm adding this to is just for color up front. It'll hug the body. It'll gather some light. And most of the time when I'm fishing this fly, it's fairly dark. It's in the evening and real early in the morning, just as the sun comes up. These caddis emerge at both stages. A lot of them emerge in the morning, early morning hours. And that's just how simple that fly is, and it's a very effective pattern. Now there's a wide range of colors. I use a lot of this material at the butt of my steelhead flies. Typically this color with fluorescent green, just like you would use chenille, floss, or fluorescent wools. I use this material because I like the way it sheds. It just, after it's been fished a little bit, there's just all these little fibers that just dingle and move around, just like the stuff if you can see this at the back. And if I brush this out, there'll be more and more of that just hang over the back of the fly. Yeah, if this would have been available during Gary LaFontaine's early years back in the 70s, this would have been the choice pick. He would have loved to mix this with fur to imitate that gas bubble that's inside the skin of the emerging caddis flies. It's excellent on scuds, and that's because they nearly the same thing. The scuds have a translucent, transparent body that emits quite a bit of light. Anyway, that's just how easy that fly is, and it's effective, and these are great materials. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.